What's up, Beyond the Harmony? Today we have something unique, something we haven't done before, something contributed by the Beyond the Harmony ultimate researcher of them all, RC Thugsta. He sent this to me back in January or even before that. I've been sitting on it, finally had time to do it. This one, unless you've seen this before, this should, no matter what bone fan, what level you are, I think this is some unique research you might not have seen. And if you did, let us know. All right. So RC at some point in his life was researching through the ASCAP records. We're going to call this video ASCAPageddon. And he found some anomalies, some things that just didn't make much sense. And he captured it all. So let's see what we have here. So we're starting with the introduction from East 99 Eternal. Now, as we look at the writers, we'll notice Kenny McLeod, Anthony Henderson, Anthony Hester, Stephen House, Brian McCain, Tim Middleton, Charles Scruggs. Now, I don't know about you guys. Now, the note from RC says all 5 members, but I don't see Stanley House on here, but I do see Charles Scruggs. So is there a version of the introduction where Wishbone has a verse on it? Interesting. And there's alternate titles, introduction, performers, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Thugs and Harmony. Ruthless Attack Music. Down 71, The Getaway. So we got Crazy Bone, Flush Bone, Lazy Bone, Busy Bone, Unique, Wish, and an unknown writer. And he says Down 71, a gateway? Is it just a typo for getaway? Typo over and over again. So if we notice the getaway, this one might be a stretch in that we do have for alternate titles, the getaway and then the gateway. Perhaps the song might have been about the gateway. Maybe that gives us an insight into that Down 71 may not be about driving down a street, but perhaps a gateway to another dimension. Maybe Down 71 has some kind of numerological significance to it, but we do see gateway. We see Down 71, the gateway, Down 71, the gateway. This could just be like modern day search engine optimization to make sure that you have all the different spellings of something. For instance, is it Bone Thugs and Harmony, Thugs and Harmony? So I don't remember if Flesh or Wishbone are on Down 71, the getaway off the top of my mind right now. But they're listed as writers, so they got credit. I don't know if it's just a group thing where everybody gets credit, but whatever. Cool. All right, so now we have Down for My Thing, and we have all 5 Bone members listed, but I don't remember Wishbone being on the song. Again, perhaps he was, but maybe he was on some version that we didn't hear, but he's getting credit for the song Down for My Thing. It's interesting, too. There's 4 different publishers for the song. All right, Fantasy. So this one is from New Waves, and for writers, looks like we got a bunch of writers there. And we also have Fleshbone. Is there a version with Flesh and Lazy Bone and Busy Bone? Look at that. So look at those writers. Anthony Henderson, Stanley House, Stephen House, Brian McCain. Now we know Crazy and Busy are on the song. We know Jesse Rankins is on the song, but Charles Scruggs was Wishbone on the song. So that's pretty nice that Crazy and Busy are letting the rest of the guys get some credit for that. So here's another entry of Fantasy. Once again, now different writers somewhat, all the Bone members listed. So is there a version of Fantasy with all 5 Bone members? For the Love of Money with Wishbone credited. So as we look, we can see Charles Scruggs, For the Love of Money. I didn't even realize Wishbone wasn't on the song. So we have Frontline Warrior. The version I heard was just Lazy and Busy. But this one's listing all 5 Bone members on it. And then even on this other one, it's listing Flesh and Wish. So what's going on there? Then we have an entry for Gangsta Street. I've never heard Gangsta Street. Have you guys ever heard Gangsta Street? It's got all the Bone members listed on it. I don't see Eazy-E. I would have thought Eric Wright would have been on here. But Eugene Cohen and Unique. So there is an ASCAP entry for Gangsta Street. Has anybody heard Gangsta Street? What would happen if you tried to license Gangsta Street? If you went and used that code at the top of the screen there, and you tried licensing it and requested a sample of it, would they send you a song? Hard Times, the interlude. And it lists more than just Crazy Bone. We got Stephen House, Brian McCain, Charles Scruggs, No Stanley House. So was there a version of Hard Times with the whole group on it? Hatin' Nation, listing all the Bone members, including Flesh. But I don't remember Flesh Bone being on the song. Do you guys remember Flesh being on Hatin' Nation? Okay, then we got to Hook It Up from the hook from I Got the Hookup soundtrack. And it's showing all 5 members here, but I only remember 3 of them being on the song. So it has them all listed, including Busy Bone, including Flesh and Bone, but I only remember Crazy, Lazy, and Wish being on it. Next, we have I Want You Lovin'. I don't even know what song that is. I have no idea where that even comes from, but you got all the Bone members listed on it. And as we can see from RC's notes here, he's got a link to Virgil Davis, and he says the song I Want Your Lovin' appears on Ghetto Street Pharmacist, but without Bone. So is there a version of I Want Your Lovin' with Bone? Next, If I Could Teach the World, Crazy, Lazy, Busy, and Wish. But if we look at the If I Could Teach the World DJ Unique remix, what do we see? Crazy, Flesh, Lazy, Lazy twice, Busy, Busy twice, and Wish. So is there a version with all 5? Is Flesh on a version of If I Could Teach the World? It's a funky thing, righto. Herbie Man, it's a funky thing. Is it an unreleased Wishbone solo song? And he says, yeah, because look, Charles Scruggs is listed on this song. It's a funky thing, righto. Is this a unreleased? Is this for the Wishmaster? Perhaps that's just another Charles Scruggs out there. I don't know. It Wasn't Me. Is this another unreleased Wish track? We got Charles Scruggs listed with Richard Burrell. Land of the Heartless. Oh boy. Is there an all 5-member version of Land of the Heartless? Well, according to ASCAP, it looks like there is. But I only heard a version with 3 of them. Has anybody heard the all 5-member version of Land of the Heartless? And what is that? Land of the Heartless original? That implies there's another Land of the Heartless? Listen to Your Heart. I've never heard of a song by Bone called Listen to Your Heart, but it says it's DJ Yellow Music. Look at all these publishers that have rights on this thing. And it has Crazy, Flesh, Lazy, Busy, Wish, and the Yomo Craig Smith. I think that's who did the For the Love of Money. And then Eric Wright. So is Listen to Your Heart, an Eazy-E featuring Bone Thugs and Harmony song. What's going on with this? Listen to Your Heart. Oh boy. I mean, this one's going back. It's got Eazy-E on it. It's got DJ Yellow Music, Dollar and Cents Music, which was on one of the others, but no Ruthless records. So what is going on here? Lock and Load. I haven't heard of this one, but it's got all 5 Bone members. Lock and Load. It's on Ruthless Records. Looking Boy. Wow. So on this, you got Lazy, Busy, and Wish, and Hot Styles. So Lookin' Boy original or remix featuring Bone. So there's an actual song called Lookin' Boy, but 3 Bone members are credited on it and Ruthless Records. All right, so RC says he found the track. I checked it out, and it said on the second verse it mentions Bone first of the month. So I guess some of the Bone members got credited for Lookin' Boy. Maybe they helped ghostwrite it. All right, this next one, MOG. All right, so MOG is a bonus track on the El Burner CD, but this entry here shows all 5 members and LT Hutton on it. Is this MOG and Murder on the Government, are they 2 separate songs? Either way, all 5 members are credited, so who knows? Mary Jane, and RC says, I can't find a full Bone song called Mary Jane, only the Crazy Bone solo song. And here we have one with Unique producing it, all the Bone members on it. We don't know who the publisher is. So there's potentially a Bone song, not a Crazy Bone song, but a Bone song called Mary Jane. If anybody knows, let us know. Mo Thug, a song just called Mo Thug. Now, is this song number 1 on the Art of War Disc 2 with only Crazy and Lazy? Or is there a longer version featuring all the other Bone members, and then did they just change it to an interlude? And who is that in the beginning saying Bone's back? Mo Thug and Eternal Bone with the voice changed? So as we see here, we have 5 members plus Unique. And here we got 4 members plus Unique. Who's missing? We got Crazy, Lazy, Busy, and Wish. So no Flesh. So there's a Mo Thug entry and a Mo Thug interlude entry, both of which the list of the writers and, as you can see, performers, Bone Thugs and Harmony. So I mean, it could be that they're just listing Bone Thugs and Harmony as for everything, just to keep it all together in the family. All right, Mo Thug Family Tree. Family Tree Art of War Disc 1 with Flesh. Well, okay. I mean, the song's called Mo Thug Family Tree. It should just be called Family Tree, because you would think the Mo Thug Family Tree would have all the Mo Thugs listed, but we only see the Bone members listed, and we do see Fleshbone listed. So is there a version of Family Tree that had a Fleshbone verse? Why would they cut that? Pain and Strife featuring Offset. And we see here we have Flesh, Lazy, Crazy, Busy, and Wish, and Eric Wright. And it's on Ruthless, so we got an Easy E track. RC says here, I don't know this song until I heard it, but instrumental sounds like Bone would be a great fit. The hook says, gotta make that money, man, money, man, still the same. First verse starts, bang, bang, gotta get down for my thing. No actual samples of Bone or Easy E, so find it hard to believe they would pay money to record a hook with the same lyrics. All right, so I'm trying not to get copyrighted on this. I checked out the track. It's a track by Freddie Gibbs. And my guess is Freddie Gibbs just, and he kind of raps, he totally raps like Bone on it. The chorus is, gotta get that money, man. So he's using Bone stuff, and he at least credited him in the ASCAP. So it's a Freddie Gibbs track where he's rapping like Bone. If you guys want to check that out, Pain and Strife featuring Offset. Is he listed in here? Yeah, Freddie Gibbs. Freddie Gibbs and Crazy Bone were friends at one point. I almost thought they might make an album together at one point. All right, Pay For It. Is this an unreleased Bone song? Story featuring Bone Thugs, Pay For It? And we have Eric Wright, Eazy-E listed there. And we have Ruthless Attack music for the publishers. Next up is Perucho. Is this an unreleased Wishbone song with another sample? As we see Charles Scruggs listed in the ASCAP. We might be able to make a whole Wishmaster album out of all this. Next up, Puppet Masters. So Puppet Masters originally was a Bone song with all 5, Not Lazy Flesh version from the Lost Archives with the Mo Thugs 3 era dudes on it. And Busy arguably wasn't involved with Mo Thugs, let alone Mo Thugs 3 time period. But we could see all 5 of the Bone members are listed for Puppet Masters. Next up, we have Rock With It. Is this a Busy Bone song featuring Bone? I don't know anything about Busy After the Gift until the Blaze era, but maybe an alternate title of another song. Rock With It. You know what's funny is, Rock With It, Wayne's World. I don't even remember what song Busy says that on, but it's always stuck in my head. Rock With It, Wayne's World. Rock With It. So there's a version where it says performers Busy Bone, but the writers are all the Bone members. Interesting. Maybe they all came up with the hook. I don't know. Shots to the Double Glock. And we got Busy Bone on there. So is there a Shots to the Double Glock featuring all 5 members? According to this, there is. Next, we have Sleepwalker. So is this the OG one that was rumored online in the 90s before Sleepwalkers with Eazy-E came out? Because we have all the Bone members, but there's no Eazy-E. So did Bone make an OG Sleepwalker, and then they just dubbed Eazy-E in later on? Still creeping on the come up. And for performers, we got all these bone names. It's not just busy and lazy. Got all the bones. Well, there's no flesh bone, but the rest of them. And RC points out, yes, there is that Busy Lazy project in 2008, but this is all the Eternal era crew and all of Bone on Ruthless. Is it an unreleased Eternal song? Oh, I see what he's saying. So maybe on Eternal, there was a song called Still Creeping on a Come Up in addition to Crept and We Came. Maybe. All right, the next one, Thug on the Line. We got Crazy Bone, we got Wishbone, and you'll notice for the publishers, we have Wishbone Productions. Wishbone Productions? Thuggish, Ruggish Bone. And we can see here that Stanley House, aka Flesh, is listed for Thuggish, Ruggish Bone. So the question lingers, is there a version of Thuggish, Ruggish Bone with Flesh on it? Next, Master P's Till We Dead and Gone. Did Busy record a verse on the Master P collab? Because we see Brian McCain is credited along with the Bone members. There's no Stanley House, but there's a Brian McCain. So what's going on there? Together for Children. Sounds like this would make an awesome sample for a Bone instrumental. Another sample licensed for a Wishbone solo track. So it's by Rock Arbor Music Publishing. It has just Wishbone on here. So now we got, was it 4? Are we at 4 or 5 Wishbone mystery songs? You Ain't Bone. So Charles Scruggs is listed. Is there a version of You Ain't Bone featuring Wish? Wasteland Warriors. Wasteland Warriors with all 5 Bone members and featuring Paul Tombstone O'Neill. Did someone mistake Tombstone's real name for Soulja Boy? Huh. So, looks like I don't see Soulja Boy's name on here, but we do see Paul O'Neill. Perhaps the original Wasteland Warriors had Tombstone, and then the final cut, they're replaced with Soulja Boy? All right, so RC has this one called Watching Me. He inquires is this an unreleased Bone song from the Creed 2 soundtrack? It is released as Mike Will Made It, Ray Strummond, Kodak Black, Watching Me. And he's got a link to the song. Oh, yeah, I remember looking this one up a while back. All right, so this Watching Me song, I just listened to it. They're using the lyrics to Look Into My Eyes by Bone Thugs and Harmony. So I guess it says publishers Ruthless Attack Music, and they got the Bone members. Bone's not on it, but Bone's lyrics are on it. So I guess that's how they got it credited. It says, curiously, it starts off saying, look into my eyes, maybe a coincidence, but fairly common. And then literally sings it the same way as Crazy on the Bone single. And the first rap verse mentions Easy. And it's a pretty good song. All right, we done Told Them Boys. Is this an unreleased track produced by LT Hutton? It's got all 5 Bone members on it. It's gone Ruthless. We Done Told Them Boys. Anybody know about that track? We Done Told Them Boys. I never heard of that. That almost sounds like something No Limit would do. Hit the Bong. Is this the first track to be released from the new DJ Paul and Crazy Bone project? Because I can't find more on it. Tim Moore is listed on a ton of more recent Paul-involved Mafia projects. And we see it's Crazy Bone, Paul Beauregard, and Tim Moore. And the performers are DJ Paul and Crazy Bone. So, if anything, we have a track that may be coming out on it. All right, this next one. This one's Made of Legends. 'Cause I'm Easy. We've all heard about it. No one's ever heard it. You would think a song called 'Cause I'm Easy would have Eric Wright listed. But it doesn't. It doesn't even have Ruthless Records for the publisher, which is really strange. It's got DJ Unique on it. We got all 5 Bone members. So, 'Cause I'm Easy. Anyone have any information on that one? Eternal. So this is the Eternal song, but it shows the alternate title is Eternal Fight. Is that the name of the track that's on the Champions, the Eternal Champions? Ain't Nothing Changed. Featuring all 5 members on Art of War. Why does it say Outlaws? So we see all the Bone members. And then if you notice for performers, it shows Bone Thugs and Harmony Outlaws. That's interesting. Oh boy. The big time famous one, Artillery Shop. One of the infamous rumored 90s tracks from Eternal. It has its own entry, not as an alternate song title. And you got all 5 Bone members and DJ Unique. Battle Zone. And it shows all 5 Bone members listed. Can you imagine if there's an all 5 member version of Battle Zone? Oh boy, I know that's a favorite for many. Bud Smokers Only. Now we know Bud Smokers Only might have almost made the cut for Creeping on a Come Up. But who we have? We got Crazy, Lazy, Busy, Wish, and Flesh. And then there's a Bud Smokers Only DJ Unique remix. Are you kidding? Anybody heard the DJ Unique remix of Bud Smokers Only? All 5 members. So having both of these Bud Smokers Only, this fits in with Cecil West's 10-track theory for Creeping on a Come Up. And then we have Bud Smokers Part 2. And who the heck is this? Who is Jennifer Danielle Burton? And then this below here, Bud Smokers Only featuring Crazy Bone. And you don't even see Crazy listed in the credits. So yeah, that's interesting. Bud Smokers Part 2. Now I think there's a Bud Smokers Part 2 that was cut from one of the Mo Thug albums. And then what is going on with Bud Smokers Only? All right, Battle Zone. Another one. Battle Zone featuring all 5 members. CL and IA, Flesh and Wish. Then we have one CL and IA with all the Bone Thugs and Harmony members. So there's 2 different entries for CL and IA. One version has all 5 Bone members. It always seemed strange to me on the CD when it was only a couple guys on it. Clog Up Your Mind with Flesh, all 5 members. And then a second entry with Clog Up Your Mind. And here's what makes this one intriguing over the others. So on this one, you have Stanley House listed for Clog Up Your Mind. But then there's a second entry that does not have Stanley House. So is there a Flesh version of Clog Up Your Mind? Cocaine Love. All 5 members listed. Can you imagine can you imagine if New Waves was actually recorded as like a Bone Thugs and Harmony album? All 5. Imagine if it was like a whole, if that was supposed to be the 30th anniversary. Man. So anyway, it's showing here Cocaine Love with all 5 members. DDD, Die. So the DDD, that's I guess the clean version. And instead of it just being Crazy and Busy, we have all 5 members. And here we also have all 5 members. Die with all 5 Bone members. Wouldn't that be something? All right, that wraps up ASCAPageddon. We've dropped a lot of gems on you. Most of these might just be coincidences, typos, misunderstandings, perhaps things they had slated for the future. There might be an explanation for all of them, but perhaps there's another alternative explanation. We sure presented a lot here, and if just one of these has an alternate explanation, most of these were from all your guys' favorite era. So now you got the info, you got the leads. So now that you got the leads, gentlemen, go out there and find these gems. There's treasure out there to be found. Bone Thugs and Harmony archaeology. Massive props to RC Thugster for digging this one up all that time ago. He said it's from way, way back that this used to be a thing on one of the boards. People used to look this stuff up. Nonetheless, Beyond the Harmony presenting ASCAPageddon, information collected by RC Thugster. Now we put it on the audience. Go find these for us. And if you guys are in the Discord, give RC Thugster a shout out for being one of the premier Bone Thugs and Harmony researchers out there, if not the best. You could tell him Lippy put you up to it. And if you have any information about any of this, drop it in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.